Okay, welcome everybody to the Finance Committee and Select Board meeting for Wednesday, March 4th at 5 p.m. And the first item on the Finance Committee agenda is to approve the meeting minutes from our previous meeting.
I move we approve. Second from
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the minutes from February 25th. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor? We don't have to do roll call.
No, see, you're not,
Okay.
yeah.
So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
I nominate you, the open the select board meeting.
Joyce is remote, she's.
Hi,
Okay, I can't.
I'm trying to find my mute button. I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. We have no agenda, so I'll turn it back over to Lynn right away.
Well, the meeting minutes.
Yeah,
Our-
your meeting. Yeah. the
Our
meeting.
meeting minutes? Okay. I'm still struggling to find the agenda for this meeting on my little mission control here full of, there we go. Oh, so that comes under agenda item 1.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I would entertain a motion on the minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second,
Those in favor, Fred,
Yes.
Julie,
yes.
Joyce? Yes. Okay. Back to you, Lynn.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to some of the operating budgets for fiscal year 2024, and the first operating budget is the accounting. James is here to discuss it. It's in 100 tab 6, GG4. Okay. James, you're up.
Well, I'll preface this is the first time I'm meeting with Finance Committee and Select Board for this type of thing. I have the detailed budget report in front of me. The proposal that I had mentioned to Pete was for a 17-hour a week schedule, which is 2 hours additional per week. And the substantiated changes for to support the department in a way where I'm able to look at all the reports and be able to effectively carry out my responsibilities as the town accountant with no assistant. It's really just dependent on me. In terms of the department expenses, there was a 51% decrease. I'm not sure what was worked into the budget in FY26. I wasn't the one that was proposing that. So
The primary reduction on that department expense was last year. In the current fiscal year, we appropriated funds to purchase new computer replacement. So that was
right.
That where the reduction came from. We don't need to buy and get another computer this year.
Right. Yep, so that makes sense. And then the accounting software is remaining consistent as the base for the $12,733. However, there is a cloud-based migration fee of $3,760, and that was for improvements for the accounting software to get us into a more current system. It does not it's not a change into a different software, it's still MIP. However, this cloud-based migration will allow for us to be able to be more effective in terms of organization, UI, UX, and get away from a remoted server, which is a very tedious and archaic system. So it'll make me a lot more efficient and effective at my role.
This is a one-time
It is a one-time
type
thing.
charge?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a one-time charge, but because it was under 5,000, we don't do it as a capital, but yes, you won't see the migration fee next year.
Is
and
that something that affects the treasurer collective side of things too, or is it just on the accounting side?
just on the accounting side, I had explored the idea of going into a different system with Vadar so that that way everything was housed under one unit so that the treasurer collector and my records would sync. But Pete brought up a really important thing, which was the fact that it's a Microsoft-based system, which has a lot of pitfalls because it is an older system that's been in use since 2002. And so
Essentially-
until it becomes a web-based .NET
Yeah,
server, it's really not going to be advantageous for us to switch to. However, when they do end up making that switch, I think it would be worthwhile to look into. They have not put a timeline on when that would be. So that's why I think, this would be an improvement of what we already have.
Yeah, the cash management part crosses over, right? From the
Correct.
treasurer collector, it's just the collection side of things that doesn't cross over.
Correct, yes.
Vadar currently uses access to access a database, but because it's doing that, you can only have one person accessing it at one time, otherwise you create a conflict. So you can't have James and the treasurer in the system at the same time. And because Vadar will not be moving to the .NET platform for a few years, we discussed it probably makes sense to at least move the MIP to the cloud-based. It's a small fee to at least get that data up in cloud, and then when Vadar does move to a .NET, then we can move both systems onto the cloud-based. The .NET platform for Vadar just use one system.
Yeah, which will be much more efficient.
It certainly would be,
Right.
even for record keeping, because I have to save it in two different places and then be able to merge it, which I've gotten very good at it, and certainly in clicking around and,
And it's
you know,
one step above what we used to do, where we would enter it in treasurer collector's office and then the accountant would re-enter it.
right, right, yeah, so I feel like this will move us in the right direction.
Still have some of that duplication as well.
So the cloud-based version would actually eliminate quite a bit of duplication in terms of just the accounting side of things, but in terms of the duplication between the treasurer collector's office and mine, that's going to remain until we're under one platform.
I take it there's no change in security with regard to the network.
If anything, it's actually more secure.
Okay.
And the reason why is being that we're remoting into another computer that's completely offsite. There are a lot of pitfalls that we're not even privy to,
Right.
because the computer is not actually here physically. And transfer of data between two different servers can pose complications, which isn't great. But I know a lot of the records that I'm overseeing are public knowledge. It's just in terms of any other security data breaches, where that information could be used illegally, if we wouldn't want something like
Well, I
that.
just upgraded my home system, cost $2,000, and the big threat was what they call Trojan horses
Okay,
for security risk.
right.
So I'm hoping that we're well fortified and protected against that sort of thing.
I do too.
I wasn't a yes or a no.
That's more on our side as opposed to whether we're cloud-based or we're not, whatnot, that still a user could enable a Trojan horse via email, regardless of whether we're on the old platform or the cloud-based. Those get triggered primarily through email.
I have a question about the going to the cloud. I mean, there isn't an annual subscription fee that will come later on. It's a one-time thing.
To my knowledge, it's just a one-time migration, and the reason for that is the software company is moving all of our files into their improved system, which is cloud-based. But in terms of the software fee on an annual basis, it would just conform to the $12,733
I see,
RCC,
so,
which is an ongoing
I got it.
expense.
Where's the expense for the Zorio cash management subscription? Is that in this budget?
To my knowledge, it is in there.
It's in the treasurer.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah, that one we went through with Jen.
I wasn't sure if there was a division.
It's in the,
GG6.
the comp support, collector support.
Yeah.
Computer. That 10,319,
It's inside that 10.
correct.
And just to clarify, that decrease in department expenses, that's the computer,
Yep.
not being read.
Okay, are there any other questions? Did you have anything else you wanted to say about your budget or?
No.
It just, so some people aren't aware, this is, the whole accounting is set up a little bit differently now, so. We used to be part of the Franklin Regional Council of Government, so the fact that James is asking for a couple of hours of time. We kind of threw out a number of hours that we thought that it was going to take. When we hired someone individually, so the fact that we're adjusting those makes sense.
And the fact that we now have James on site 15 hours, he is doing, I feel, more things than we were getting before through the COG agreement that we had. And he's certainly more focused on it. So I feel like his interactions with the departments and oversight is benefiting us overall.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming.
Well deserved.
Next, it's on my.
You love it when somebody comes and has minus signs in front of it.
Yeah. Okay, the next budget is the Historical Commission. And that is tab 7. Probably a minute, no.
Yes, the smallest dollar increase, yeah. This is probably the smallest dollar increase in the biggest percentage. I'm Judy Markland, by the way, I'm chair of the Whately Historical Commission. Our charge is to try to preserve Whately's historic character and to educate the town about it. I've been on the commission since 2008. And our budget hasn't changed in that period, to $200 for that whole time. In the beginning, that was plenty. We could do mailings if it was big enough for an honorarium or speaker. Over time, what's happened is we've been more reliant on CPA funding. CPA funded the historic district signs in Town Center and West Whately. We worked hard on the restoration of Town Hall. And on preservation of some specific kinds of things. Town records. Stage curtain at Town Hall kind of thing. And we also use Whately 250 money to develop the wonderful map hidden history that you'll find on our page at whately.org that looks at parts of Whately's history that aren't there anymore. And if you haven't poured through its layers, I highly recommend it. Obviously, a couple of things have changed in that period. One is inflation. I think that $200 would probably, and especially postage, it's not even enough to do a town mailing anymore. The other thing that's changed is that the Department of Revenue ruled about 6 or 7 years ago that education no longer qualifies for the preservation of historic properties or historic objects. The thought when we did the signs, and those were eligible then, was that awareness led to preservation. I think people cognizant of what's going on. Can't use CPA money anymore for it. Education has to go directly to preservation of something. Of historic resource. And that brings us to 2026, which, as you know, is the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. And we feel we ought to be celebrating that as a town. Unfortunately, Whately didn't have any revolutionary actions right in the town itself. We sent soldiers off to fight. But none of that happened in Whately. We have no artifacts to speak of for the revolution. We have one musket, that's from the War of 1812. So the Historical Commission decided that what we would do is use this as an occasion to celebrate all of Whately's history, or to do as much as we could a retrospective, or to try and educate town about Whately's history. And we chose a project that we're really excited about. What we want to do is a walking audio tour of Whately Center with QR codes, stops along. We think it will bring people to town. It will have a great impact on creating awareness. We hope that it will show pictures of the way buildings looked in the past and the people who populated them. So the bulk of the increase here is to get that funded, the development of this. It will involve finding a host, generating the audio, researching. We've made quite a bit of progress on the research. We have a lot of photos with the help of the Historical Society. But it's good, you know, we will need to do signage, we'll need to do flyers, take some money. So that's where the bulk of those increases come. I think primarily a one-time spend. There will be a few ongoing costs, but I think probably, hopefully those can keep our budget at somewhere like $300-400 a year. Hopefully those will be absorbed going forward. Yeah.
Judy, I wonder if it would be possible to make copies of the map available for sale to anybody. But I would love to have one of those maps of Whately to frame and put in my house. Because they're really quite detailed. They know every house that was extant in 1776, I guess.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it's later.
I'm not sure whether you're talking about.
The new big thing that has Whately is part of it, but it has a lot of the other towns in the county, but you can get a section of just Whately.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the 1872 county map, and you can, I can help you find.
Okay,
Find
my other slightly facetious comment was having watched Ken Burns's Revolution and all that, and then watched Turn, which is another revolutionary thing. We're celebrating, I take it we're celebrating rebels and not loyalists.
We're celebrating Whately.
Wait, no. This thing.
Hey, does anybody else have any questions?
I do. Will that informative tour, walking tour, QR codes become a permanent? Excellent.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I think it will be really
Good long-term investment. if that's
Yeah.
the case.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you. Okay, our next budget is under tab 6, GT 19. and it's the Housing Committee.
And I'm here representing housing. Grant Chaikas as the currently serving as chair of the Housing Committee. Not much to say. The Housing Committee was kind of not meeting for quite a while, from about maybe 2023 until about mid-2025. We've reconstituted ourselves. We've been meeting regularly. We have a full complement now of committee members. We're spending, right now, we're focusing our time and attention on the DeMeo property right across from Zanoni's on Route 5 and 10. In terms of our budgetary needs, we have a placeholder. You know, we work in coordination with the Affordable Housing Trust. The Affordable Housing Trust has a reasonable amount of funding in its coffers, thanks to the Community Preservation Act, and to the extent that the Housing Committee is able to pursue activities that are consistent with the use of Community Preservation Act funding. We don't necessarily need town funding. So we've had a kind of a placeholder $500 a year budget, which, as far as I know, I'm pretty new in this role for the Housing Committee. I don't know that the Housing Committee's really spent any money, but we've talked internally about potentially needing, we wanted to send housing related announcements out via mail to town residents, or if we wanted to do some kind of public information session that might require printing or other kinds of material. So I can't say that I have like a concrete plan for needs, but we felt like $500 was a reasonable placeholder for another year to give us some latitude to do things that we might need to do over the 2027 fiscal year.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Brent?
I would just add to that, as far as the DeMeo property, if that proves to be possibly viable, there will be a need for public meetings and outreach, and that may require some money to do.
Does the housing committee have anything to do with the Whately School and the milk bottle located?
Not at the moment. There's a different. I heard somebody else.
I guess that's good, Brent. Thank you for joining us this evening.
You're very welcome. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next budgets are select board and administration. First one is under tab 7, CRS 1.
So you get to listen to me go through all the rest of the sheets. Get ready for my gold tone. I am, on some of these, I am just presenting other entities, budget, but I'm happy to answer what questions are possible. Tri-Town Beach, the Tri-Town Beach is an assessment fee based on their budget that they have put together for their operations for 27. Whately's portion of the assessment is $11,673, which is a $372 increase over last year, or over our current year. The 3.29%. Any questions?
I assume that most of their funding is through a revolving fund
With their
with their user fees.
Are they, you know, if they have any plans for any improvements at the site or anything like that?
I don't think we've seen any capital requests from them.
They didn't make the capital
Yeah.
requests,
Okay.
but they may be.
They've done quite a bit over the past few years, but I don't
Okay.
think that this year.
Regular budget, okay.
So what does the $12,000 actually buy?
Retard, lifeguards.
Maintenance.
Let me pull it up.
Goodness, you lose out. What a nice thing.
Okay,
In the past, it generally covers salaries of lifeguards.
Lifeguards, yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost all salary. There's also the commissioners get a small stipend. There is about 4,000 that goes to maintenance. Now, this is the total budget. Both building and landscaping maintenance, liability insurance, and then there's also general expenses such as supplies, water testing, because they do have to test, the electrical service, trash collection, contractor services, permits if they ever need a permit. And so, yeah, 53,000 of their total budget is salaries, and then another 8,000 goes towards their expenses, their general expenses.
And is there our percentage in the agreement that we have? I can't remember. The amount, the percentage that the town of Whately pays towards, is there an agreement in place that? Or
Ours
is
is
it,
23%, and it must be based on the intermunicipal or the district creation, but ours only represents 23%.
okay,
What's the situation with water quality?
Other than testing, I don't know.
It's just Board of Health testing.
I couldn't say what the specific, they are required to test. They are required to close if it reaches certain levels, but I don't know whether how many closures they gotta do based on any issues with the water.
Right, okay.
So is this 12K a net of revolving funds and here's the fees, the sources? Or is this is the gross operating cost for the beach?
No, but
I guess
this
it's asking how-
11.6 is Whately town assessment.
Got it.
Is not, it's
Right.
exclusive of the total budget, what is it, it's 53 plus.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
how did the revenue?
I'm just
split
asking
in
how the
that?
revenue plays into it. Is it net of the revenues received or is this a gross number?
I'm not understanding the phrasing, not financially, so,
this is what will have to come out of our budget.
yeah, this comes out of our
Not
budget.
revolving funds.
Where are the
Their
user, where are the
expenses do-
user fees that people pay?
So their expenses are covered by their revenues, their user fees covers their expenses, so we're paying the salaries. And the,
Similar to the enterprise budget, where users pay for the water.
no, because the enterprise budget is fully user funded, the town doesn't fund the enterprise.
So this is net, then it is net of user fees coming in revenue.
In addition to, yes, if that's what you mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what you mean, but yeah, in common English, yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, the revenues don't fully fund their budget.
Got it.
Correct,
This
yes,
is the,
yeah,
the excess.
yeah.
Got it.
And just for anyone who's new to this, it's called Tri-Town Beach. There are only two towns involved. Sunderland was out
Right.
before it ever started.
Well, since when was the first stage, and Sunderland was part of it. and
Okay,
Sunderland
okay,
backed
well,
out.
Sunderland has not been part of it for
Right.
many years.
Then some.
Deerfield's paying 77%.
Right.
Of the budget.
Okay,
That's interesting.
Where are we going?
Oh,
Number 5.
CRS 5. Oh, I don't know why that's.
I was. gonna say,
Did I miss number?
Let's see, what,
What other
council on
CRS?
aging, local council on aging.
Yeah,
was
that's what it was supposed to be, a CRS 6.
Six, okay,
We basically reviewed CRS 5 last week.
last week,
Right.
right,
CRS 6 is just our council on aging, which is just our local board. And they are seeking level funding from previous year. They do community outreach events and they do mailings, postcards to their citizens.
What do they actually do?
They work with the senior center. I don't know how our council works other than working with our senior center.
But they do send out birthday cards, and I
Yes.
think that's a total waste of money.
I'm about to get mine. It's nice to make sure the corner.
I noticed they don't have a number down for that.
They do.
They do.
That's what the
Birthday
supplies.
cards,
Well, they have birthday
But they've
cards
got a
listed
separate
down.
thing for birthday cards.
Down.
Oh, they do, but they now do it under their.
Under the.
I think the birthday cards is more of an advertisement to the seniors to try to get them to go to the senior center. I think that's the purpose behind the birthday cards.
So.
I got my birthday card, but
If you go to the seniors.
I haven't yet. But they put a little notice, please join us at the senior center, that kind of thing, so I think that that's what the purpose behind the birthday cards.
It's kind of like your AARP card, you start getting your 50.
Yeah.
All communities essentially have a council on aging. Their council on aging is intended to represent those of senior ages in order to help provide connection to services, answer questions. In some communities, you have staff that supports your council on aging. Because we're regionally based, we operate through the senior center, but our council on aging essentially represents Whately residents through that senior center.
Do you know if there's any senior center or senior service for people who aren't quite up to speed with computers and cell phones?
Yes, I know the library is planning on doing a program, and I believe the senior center it is in conjunction with the library doing some type of program.
And Valley Neighbors does that.
Yeah, Valley Neighbors does do that too.
Okay,
Yeah,
well.
Joy.
Joyce has a question.
Hi, Joyce.
No, I had a comment that the senior center had a nearly $500,000 grant that they've been using over the last 2 years. It's finished now, but they got hundreds of devices into the hands of seniors and provided training on how to use those devices. And they've done all kinds of stuff with technology and getting people up to speed. So that's if you haven't heard about it, look at a few back issues of the Scoop. It's all in there.
Great.
Thank you. Any other questions on the council on aging budget? Okay, let's move on to CRS 7, the veteran services.
So the veteran services, this budget covers our regional veterans agent, which is out of Greenfield. There is also required allowance for veterans benefits. And then we also do grade markers for veterans, Whately veterans. There are grade markers that get replaced. They do deteriorate over time, so every year we put a little bit of money in there so that the agent can go and replace those. The benefits, there is a significant increase, and that's because there is it was a, let me find that document.
We do have a veteran who's getting services.
Yes, but there was also a requirement to increase,
Over the years, we've only had a veteran who got benefits maybe once or twice, and it didn't last for a long period of time. So veterans can apply to the veterans agent for funding to help them through various housing and those kind of costs.
So is this agent shared by other towns or is just Whately or?
is a regional agent.
That's a region.
Yeah,
And this is our contribution to their salary.
correct, yeah. Yeah, so essentially the VSO, any agent within Whately can contact, and any agent, any veteran in Whately contact the VSO, in order to find out, get themselves connected for any service, whether that's, health benefit services, navigate them through, either, independent living or assisted living needs, if they need to go to the veterans hospital. Your VSO helps connect you to all your veteran benefits as a veteran.
Good.
But yes, there was an additional allotment or cost increase for benefit payments, and it happens for everybody throughout the region. So although we have a small. User base that's getting that benefit, there was an increase, so there.
And the region is roughly Western Mass,
Franklin County.
just Franklin County.
Okay, any other questions on the veteran services?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to tab 6. It's GG1, that must be the select board.
Let's see. Okay. As mentioned before, no personnel adjustments, though I should have personnel adjustments, salary adjustments based on the personnel committee recommendations, and that those adjustments all have in your updated sheets for joint meeting. So no, nothing right now in the personnel section. Let's see, in the general expenses, a reduction in dues and meeting fees. We really haven't been using the large allotment that we've been setting for it. It does allow for us to pay for any meetings where there is a cost for attending, as well as any membership fees. But based on the way and the amount that we've been spending in that line item, my recommendation is to bring that down to 2,000. Advertising and recording, I want to keep that at 1,000. We don't know what hearings may be required, if a dog hearing has to happen. We can't anticipate those, so although we have not been spending like in 2023 and 2025, we spent less than $1,000. 2024, we exceeded it, and so I just want to keep that level at 1,000. Mileage and meetings, again, this is primarily a mileage reimbursement line item. We really aren't using 750 worth of mileage reimbursement, even with the cost of gas going up. With Zoom, are participating remotely, and we don't have to do as many in-person regional meetings or meetings at the state. So bringing that down to 500. Newspaper subscription, the recorder did go up in cost, so it's a $350 so $25 increase. We donate $300 towards the Grange in order to cover the cost of the Memorial Day band. So just keeping that at a level donation. Town meeting, these are to town meeting. This was for printing costs in case we wanted to outsource the printing for a town meeting, but warrants.
The warrants and stuff, yeah.
And really it's paying for the paper, if I'm being honest, because the warrants are large. And then the annual town reports. Last year we appropriated $3,000. But I believe based on what we spent in 2025, because we went to MCOR, we can actually bring this cost down to 2,000. So bringing that down $1,000. So actually in general expense is a 15.5% reduction.
Nice.
Obviously general expense is a much smaller portion of this budget, but right now we're looking at a slight decrease, though, just to be honest, with personnel increases, this budget will likely be in the positive, but right now it's in the negative.
Are annual town reports required to be printed?
You have to print a certain amount, because you've got to send them to the state library and things like that, so you have to have probably 10
It's
printed.
10.
We have to keep archival copies, and then we have to
A
send
hard copy.
a hard copy, and then we have to send 2 copies off to the state library. And other than that, there is no requirement that they be printed, but there are a lot of people in town who want a printed copy. So, but we used to print one for every household in town, and now we just limited, I don't know, 100 or something.
Yeah, and I think that we could also.
That was,
yeah,
that bound
Increase
print.
that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Town meeting.
And the jail prints them for
Yes, that's it.
Oh,
Temcorn, yeah.
Yeah. We used to use a a private printer service, but we went to the state instead, and it's a significant reduction.
Yes.
And Core also
You
does
pay
our
for the
envelopes
paper.
as well.
Yeah. You just have to plan and get on their schedule
Yes.
way ahead of time.
Thankfully, they email you
Yeah.
multiple times to
good.
remind you, get us the file.
They're
Oh, yeah.
pretty good.
They're very good.
If you guys are interested, we have all of the annual town reports online.
They are. Yes.
They're online as well, so if you're
Yeah,
interested.
that's why I was wondering if we needed to have a lot
And
of,
we
you know,
have to have the archival copies.
I get that just
Yeah.
in terms of what you're distributing at town meeting. You need 100 cents and $2,000.
They,
Like I said, we could probably decrease that number, within
Yeah.
the last 2 years. I don't think that we even hit
Yeah,
over 100. I don't even think we hit 100. So my recommendation, I haven't talked to Pete about it, but is to decrease that number. And then I don't think that we're gonna need more than that, so.
yeah.
Maybe.
But I think it is the residents do, expect them and
Yeah.
also like to have them, so. I think
At
printing some,
present, the action has been that the board wants us to get these out at town meeting so that everybody that does show up gets a printed, every voter.
Yes.
We don't do it by household, right? It's by
it's
voter.
by a voter, yeah.
By
So
voter
generally
who shows
it's-
up.
Yeah, that shows up.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then we do have them here for anybody who comes and requests one. We
Yes.
have the extra copies here.
Okay, thank you.
okay, are there any other questions on? the
Yeah,
select board?
and Peter did not pay me to ask this question, but you don't get a COLA increase?
We haven't put that in yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying. No
Oh, I missed
personnel salary adjustments until
Oh,
next
okay.
meeting.
Personnel committee is still meeting on that.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, next question is legal, the next one, PG two.
There is a letter confirming unfortunately that KP Law is increasing their legal service rates. Their hourly rate is going up $10 to $260. That will. They anticipate another increase in FY 28 of $10 as well, but at least for FY 27, it's a $10 increase, so. I budgeted for additional monies on the legal counsel line item. Again, legal counsel is not where we just pay them one fee and we get the services throughout the year. It's a on-call basis when we request their service or their review or their guidance. They charge us by the hour, so it fluctuates. That's why you see fluctuations. We did need legal counsel quite a bit in FY 25, primarily due to our dog hearing and then having to go to appeals court. But in previous years, we didn't have as much legal counsel, so it does fluctuate, but I feel like. With the the hourly rate increase, and I try to be as conservative as possible to reach out to David, because I do know most of the legal process. Sometimes it's just I need something. When it comes to a legal posting or something, I need his formal and contracts, I need him to double check for everything.
Pete, any sense on how much has been expended in the last 8 months for that legal counsel? How much?
It's in our budget, the actuals, but unfortunately, it's just the budget, not just KP, because the budget, as you can see, includes
It's
other
combined.
fees. It's just when you get those budgets to actuals, it's
Yep.
just.
It's just that
Oh,
line.
no, you know what, he does have it broken out, let me see,
No, legal is just general expenses.
oh, it's just general expenses,
Yeah.
okay.
So we've spent 3,700 so far for the whole legal budget.
That's
Well,
good.
I'm sorry, this is through the middle of February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do
So
use
the
legal
first 8
counsel,
months.
we do
Yeah.
use legal counsel quite a bit in the spring, developing the town meeting warrant.
Yeah.
Because I do need him to verify all of the warrant language and the motions.
Yep, so it could be more.
So
time.
there is a good amount of time that gets.
Yep.
He charges us during March, April, May.
Yeah, we used to put the legal counsel years ago on retainer. And some years we wouldn't even use the retainers worth of time, so it didn't pay us to do it that way, so it made more sense to do it hourly.
My only question, would be, if the rate's going up 4%. But I know the timing is critical, your point, very important. relative to consumption, but we've only spent the equivalent of about 6,000 a year, continues. Six can go into a higher number because you're gonna need a lot more activity between here and the town meeting. Could this just be funded at the same level of 2026?
I wouldn't recommend it. We know that there are additional zoning bylaws that are gonna have to come up next year.
Okay.
We have to update the zoning bylaws for ADUs, accessory dwelling units, so that is gonna require. I know that that's gonna require a zoning bylaw review by council. I don't shortchange the legal.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is for us to have to come to FinCom and say, hey, we need reserve funds because X legal thing happened. Also, as we get ready for the highway garage, we're gonna need council to go and review.
I was gonna say,
RMP
I
documents
was
and,
thinking bond council.
Yeah.
Which is real.
which we don't
not.
have a line item, or we have it zeroed right now.
Right,
Yeah,
but, you know, if that project is going, we will need to bond it and we will need a bond council.
and just because bond council is zero, even if we do use bond council, we're using money out of this budget, so it's flexible within the
It's
budget.
fungible within it.
Yeah.
Hey, any other questions on legal? Okay, the next one is GG5.
This is the financial audit. This one, we put away money every year. It gets compounded for when the audit actually happens. However, we know that the fee is gonna be 17,500 for the next audit. And so we already put away 5,000. We're going to need the 6,500 and then likely 6,000 next year. So this is just putting that money in for that next audit cycle.
It's every 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
Supposed to be every 2 years, but
Oh, every 2 years,
yeah.
is it? How long?
It got, because of COVID, we got off track and so they're supposed to be every 2 years.
Okay,
And if you spend so much money with federal funds, then it's gotta be every year, but
oh,
we
thankfully
don't.
we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So-
the 2 years is a requirement?
I don't know that it's a legal requirement, but it is certainly
That's
the best practice according to DOI.
So would that mean
See, we paid
27, you'd be short, right?
well, 17.5 was doing 3 years.
right.
So perhaps.
Yeah. If we already have that appropriated for 2 years worth, and we do it on a 2-year cycle, we have the appropriation.
Yeah.
Got it.
Any other questions on the audit? Okay, let's see, here now with GG9.
Hey, Eugene,
Community development.
It's community development. This is a sub-account of the select board. This funds the community development administrator and then any programming or advertising outreach that the CDA would do. Such as things for, like our pollinator project, if we have to have a community meeting and we wanna do posters to get the residents to come, and now we would post around town. Or if there's any special training in grant administration or zoning bylaws, that type of training would be paid out of this for the CDA. So right now, the general expenses, there's a slight reduction. I don't see us needing the advertising outreach to be at the 1,500, just based on what we have been doing, though. As Caroline gets more up to speed, we have had significant turnover in this role. But as Caroline does get more up to speed and more entrenched in the role, she likely will find other ways to engage the community in what's happening in the town. So that fund may be used, but I just don't see us needing more than $1,000. did have, you will see that there is an hours adjustment in here. And the reason is we funded in the current FY 26 to pay the CDA on a 40-hour per week basis. Caroline accepted the position at 28 hours just because she's in her master's program, though as the year goes on, she likely will add in or increase the hours, and we have that allotment, or we have that in the agreement, or when we hired her, that we would be able to increase hours. So I want to reduce 40 hours to 32 hours in case she is able to take on additional hours once she reduces her class requirements for her master's.
Is the 32 a blended average, meaning she's at,
Correct. Over the course of the year.
so
Yeah,
in the next year, it'll be a full 40-hour.
hopefully, if there is a need, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, if she determines that she is able to keep everything at 28 and doesn't need the additional hours to provide that support, we would keep that, and then next year I would say, okay, we're keeping this rule at 28. I want to fund it at 32. My request is to fund it at 32. In case we can increase her hours, she has the ability, and there is the.
No, I was trying to clarify, she's at 28, but after she gets done with her master's program, she's gonna go to 40, so 32 is the blended number.
That's my anticipation. She might not need to go to 40 hours though.
Got it. Got it.
Does she write grants?
Yes, she handles all of our grant applications and the grant management. When we receive it, she has to do all the reports for the different agencies where we receive those grants, track all of the expenses, submit invoices for reimbursement.
And so are the grants essentially, is it revenue neutral relative to the expenditure for the salary?
No, grants do not pay her salary. Grants pay for the projects, like the solar installation project or
Well,
hiring the contractor
right,
for.
I'm not saying pay her,
Oh,
I'm just saying, is she getting, are you getting?
More,
Yes.
the
Grant
grant
money
administrator has
there.
been bringing in more money.
oh,
Yeah.
significantly
From
from
the
the
position.
yes.
Great.
Yes, so we're going to see what has happened.
Sorry.
So can we go somewhere on the website to see what she has actually done? or-
Yeah, there's on the website under departments, when you go to community development, you can see what.
What's your last name?
Gurek, Gurek.
Okay, any other questions on community development? We're going to GP 11.
We have it on the agenda twice.
Yeah. It was to remind me that I actually did present the GG11, but yeah,
Oh,
so we
Oh,
don't
I
need to
see.
do it next
Okay.
after I do all these because I'm just covering
Didn't know if
the
you wanted-
moderator's budget. The moderator's budget is simply the stipend. The stipend will be adjusted once we apply a COLA, but right now it's just showing at level. No information.
okay, so GG 12, town building operations.
Or-
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, it handles the town meeting operations here at the town office and at the town hall. So this covers the custodial services here at town office and town hall, as well as plowing of the town lots. Actually, we moved that to the wall, to the highway department, so that is zeroed out. So it's for personnel, it's just covering that. And it is, I wanna say 5 hours per building per week. So right now, just showing level funding because we aren't showing rate increases yet. Now, going through all the different accounts. For the line items, the only adjustments are. On electricity, an increase of 1,500. This is just due to the fact that electricity costs are going up. So that is showing an increase. I show an increase, but I wanna put an asterisk because. In FY 27, our solar panels are gonna go live. Those solar panels act as a credit against your bill, reducing your bill expense. I don't wanna anticipate. Until it definitively goes online and we see what the production is like and how that offsets it, so essentially just saying. This year, let's budget for it because it's not online yet, but next year we will have firm data from July 1. Of how much we're
That's when it
producing.
goes online.
Yeah, well, we have to go online by July 1, though it likely is going on sometime in June, but we have to have it fully online by July 1.
As for this building?
Yep.
Did the town actually buy the panels?
Yes, they're purchased through a grant, so we use grant money through the MVP program to purchase those and do the design, installation, the installation. We're getting the delivery next week. The installation should happen later this month. The installation will take about a week to 2 weeks to install it, but then there's a significant time period where Eversource has to do checks and verifying and allowing for the interconnection of our system, the generation into the actual grid system. So although that you'll see them pretty quickly, we won't be officially producing for a couple months
Are they going on the roof or in the pole?
on the roof. Almost the entire surface of all the metal, including the north side, is getting covered in solar panels. So it'll be a significant generator.
That 26K is just for this building or it includes the?
No, it's town hall as well. Yeah,
Yeah, but not the highway.
no, this
They're on
town
the
building
side.
operation only handles the town office and the town hall.
Get a nice cost.
So there probably are some asterisks as we go through. So, telephone, we are using, so our phone service, we have a voice over IP, but we also have a fax line. We thankfully are getting rid of the 0300 line we are getting rid of. We shifted to, if you got your outbound, or if you got a call from the town clerk yesterday,
Yeah.
it came from the 4400, we were able to reroute it to the main
Oh.
number. And so we
It came up on my fitness. No, it did come up with 4400.
Yeah.
Even though. Can XCTY let you do that?
Yeah,
Okay, because they told.
They
us
did
when
it.
They told us when we set it up, it had to be a dedicated
it
line.
likely was,
Right.
used to be, but with maybe their background now with Final Site, they set it up and they tested it and then we verified it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have to use it any longer.
Yeah, we got that.
But with that, the spend in FY 25 was over $3,000. So I just want us to make sure that we're more in line with where our expenses actually were last year. So my request here is just to increase it 1,000. HVAC repairs.
Fun.
This is
Yeah.
primarily only done here at the town offices because the HVAC system is very problematic. However, this past year with Jamrog, we think we finally came to a place where we figured out the nuance of our system and we know now how to reset it when it does fail on us. That I am hoping that we will not have to call on Jamrog nearly as much as we had. We had them replace a number of different parts, and then finally, towards the end of the summer, we figured out the methodology of overriding the fails. So I can do it. I think I trained you on how to do it.
I think you need, I need.
I showed you. Plus that
I
now
know
mode.
Derek had said it,
Yeah,
but
you have to reset it,
Yeah.
stand there for a little while. And then
And then,
turn it
yeah.
back on, give it 5 minutes, and then it will turn on.
Yes.
Um,
I know.
so essentially, I feel very secure that we can at least reduce this by 500. I'm hoping that we can reduce it further over time. In the future, should the PD be relocated to the warehouse, my recommendation to municipal building committee is that we do an HVAC replacement.
Yeah.
As part of that capital project to outfit that space, and just fix this building's heating and cooling system. But yeah, so a $500 reduction there on miscellaneous repairs. We spent a ton of money on repairs last year, $8,000. This included a number of, so we had water line issues or plumbing issues at the town hall.
2 times, I believe.
2 times, yeah. We had some repairs here at the building, but primarily the repairs happen at the town hall. So just with aging parts, aging systems, my recommendation is to bump it
Does
up.
that include some cost for window replacements or?
No, because that was separately budgeted.
Okay,
Yeah, that was on a separate budget. We had that was the capital project, and the windows themselves were the material. Replaced,
right, it would,
but
but,
the installation was.
Right,
us,
right.
or a capital project funding.
right,
Let's see, the other adjustments, water service, reducing that to $600, we're just. The demand, we're not using as much water, though when the occupancy increases here, we'll have to likely look at changing that, but right now, I feel that we can reduce that to 600.
no, the occupancy changes, some of this may go into the police budget.
I don't know if
I
we
don't
did
know,
a separate meter. I guess it would be dependent if we did a separate meter or not. Let's see, our copier maintenance agreement, we don't need the 3,500, we can definitely reduce that down to 3,000. We have copiers that are on a maintenance agreement lease, and so they service those. The agreement really is, we pay based on the amount of printing that we're doing, so that's why it also fluctuates. Postage, this is the one where we pay into our postage meter a set amount, and then we use it up. And then, once we use up the funds that are in that postage machine, we go and add more funds into it. You can see we've done different amounts, and that's based on how much we've been paying, how much we paid into the system, so it's always a chunk of money.
Yeah.
It's never to like the cents or anything, because we essentially put in $5,000 or $10,000 into the postage machine and then let it run down. So that's why when you see under the expended column, 5,000, 10,000, 5,000, that was just because we spend it until we use it up, and then we have to put more money in.
So is it $2,500 to rent the meter?
Correct. There is the rental fee through Depot's, you know. It's a Pitney Bowes
Quadient.
machine.
Quadient.
Quadient, yes. But we, I feel we can reduce that down at least down to 6,000. We do have to do septic tank inspections, the Title V, so keeping that at 500. Internet. This one, you can see there has been a reduction in our internet costs. We have internet access here and at the town hall. And the voice over IP is our phone line. All of our office lines are actually over voice over IP, which is through our data provider, so through Comcast, and we have a separate agreement through Ring Squared.
Access
Access
Plus, a Ring
Plus
Squared
or
company.
Rings, yes.
Yeah.
It
It used to be
a
Crocker. Yeah.
but then got acquired, and then their first
Yeah.
company got
know.
acquired, so.
So is the telephone money up above for equipment then?
No, we have actual copper Verizon lines as well.
Interesting.
Which we shifted a couple of the old copper lines to cell service, and those were for the fire alarm systems. Cause they were on copper and they would trip, they weren't stable, so then we switched them to wireless at the town hall and here in the library as well.
It's a septic just for the town office.
Both. We have septic at both
town
locations,
hall.
yeah, and town
So
office,
this
yeah.
is just pump the systems? Or is it-
I believe it is for the pumping service, yes.
Pretty good rate.
Well, and it doesn't happen all that frequently, but I don't know. Oh, when we had it last pumped.
Things
Do whatever
got
counts over here.
really bad a couple
I
years
mean,
ago.
Wait,
Yeah,
what's
no.
that?
I have no idea.
Wait, what happened?
It backed
Back
up
up here?
here.
Oh.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah, that was,
Must
Well,
be, yeah,
Where you want.
before 2023.
well, the problem was we weren't.
Yeah.
And we had a backup, so we, yeah. So without being on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think you gotta do it every couple of years.
Yeah, yes, you
Alright.
do.
Special projects, this is just for one-off items. We've used this when we're doing, like a special installation, either like a planting, some planting costs, either at the town hall or here. It's a very small dollar amount for landscaping improvements is one item that we might use it for. We are planning a large scale replanting and landscaping project here at the town office and the library and the elementary school as our pollinator project, but that will be a capital project cost. That'll be coming up later on, that proposal, not for FY 27, and we're actually hoping to get grant funds for that instead. And then finally, the last item is town office supplies. This is essentially any of our office supplies, paper, pens, any of that. Even desk chairs, we put that in our town office supplies. We can certainly reduce that down to 6,000. Again, it fluctuates, depends on our needs of the staff here in the town office. We don't provide town office supplies to the town hall other than maintenance supplies. I think that actually falls in that town office supplies, is our maintenance supplies, like the custodial supplies.
It does, yeah.
So any of the restroom papers, any of the cleaning solvents that Matt has to use out of that. That's town buildings budget, with a projected reduction of right now 1.5%. So when we adjust the custodial rate, that might change.
Any other questions on the town building budget? Okay, moving on. Next budget's GG 13.
This is the IT budget. This is a sub-account within the town building budget. It essentially covers the cost for the website hosting, our email, our Microsoft platform, any computer repair or replacement for town office staff. The Connect CTY, our outbound messaging platform, and our Zoom accounts. Because we switched website providers from Civic Plus to Revise, we will see a reduction in our costs. So that's why the website hosting has a reduction of $500. We're getting rid of the current hosting platform, and the annual fee is less than Civic Plus was. And then because we've been doing a number of computer replacements over the past couple of years, we don't need as much in that computer repair replacement, so I want to bring that down to 5,000. It does cover our software, our PDF software. We do pay out of that; those subscriptions come out of that. And then the email hosting software subscription, that's strictly Microsoft. All of our Microsoft accounts have monthly/annual subscription rates. But overall, it's a reduction of 1,500 for this budget.
Any questions on this budget? Okay, next one is GG 19.
This is the,
We did that.
oh wait, I don't have to do, yeah, we did this one already. All right,
Yeah, we did.
that was a why? Oh, yeah, we're good. Yep. Okay, now we need to go to ID, which is,
Text 11. Yeah.
these are the insurance and benefit categories that aren't covered by the treasurer collector. So we'll start with ID1, which is for the property insurance. That one, there's a slight increase to our property insurance. Property is both real estate as well as real property of special goods at the facilities, such as equipment insurance, vehicle insurance. So that has a slight increase to 108,000.
Is that, did they actually give you that quote? Oh,
Yeah, the solar panel's gonna kick up your insurance requirements.
sure.
That's a significant chunk of, if a tornado knocks the solar panels off.
Yeah, We haven't had that discussion yet. That's a good point, but not that I am aware of, but I'll have to find out from Maya,
That's a good question.
what the implication will be with that.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to know what the insurance company thinks of it.
Okay, any other questions on property and liability?
Yeah, it's the big jump from 25 to 26. I know it's gonna go up 7% in 2027. I don't know that.
Well, we did replace a number of vehicles, so that increased the insurance coverage because the cost to replace went up.
Yep.
Also, we found center school property was not insured, so I had to get the center school added into the insurance program. Although it was a small amount, it certainly doesn't make up that 20,000 difference, but it was a chunk of change. I want to say 5,700 or so
Mhm.
was just to get the center school insured.
And the vehicle.
As a vacant building.
Right,
And
and
then
vehicles go in here as well.
Yes, this is for vehicle insurance. Any of our real property, both land and,
So if we were to go down the road of leasing the new vehicles for the highway department, would that impact here? Because you're gonna have all these new cars coming in.
yeah, because your vehicle insurance is now based on a leased vehicle.
Right.
Most likely, I guess it's gonna depend on how that program is done, if we do that program.
Yeah.
And how that program is done, if we have the other entity handling the lease insurance, or we're carrying that cost outside of our lease agreement.
Okay, the next budget is ID4. First comment.
Workers' comp, this one is keeping static. Workers' comp is based on, the number of employees, their liability or their potential liability based on their job responsibility, their risk factors
And also our history.
and our history. But because we didn't add in a number of new police officers or firefighters, any of those high risk employee counts, the estimate is keeping the same premium. That's it from
Okay, the next budget is ID7, which is rental regional retirement.
This is another assessment program, so we pay into the FRRS program as an assessment fee. And with everything, there's always increases, but, our assessment in the program will increase $20,000 and change, so up 7.8% from the current budget.
So in 25 words or less, can you tell me what this is? What is this retirement system?
All
We're paying $200.
benefited employees are in the Franklin retirement, it's the
That's
state,
the town's
It's a
share.
picture of going into the retirement.
correct?
What percent, how much is that?
Probably the same.
Is there?
I think they take the entire budget for all the towns within the Frontier Regional System, and then they take, each town is assessed a percentage based on, you take 100%, how many employees are part of the system, gives you a percentage of what you're paying towards their assessment.
So this is in lieu of a 401k plan.
Correct.
So when someone retires, they get a payment, a monthly.
Yeah.
Payment.
We don't put into Social Security. So this is our,
Oh, you don't put it
No.
into.
Really?
Oh, come. great.
Well, because we're municipalities that pays into the pension, the state pension program instead.
Oh, so this is a state pension, so
Correct.
they,
It's part of the state pension.
okay, when they are retired, then they don't pay any taxes on their, right, in Massachusetts.
no,
If it's a state.
That's a
State,
in Massachusetts, you don't, but you do on your
Your
federal.
federal.
on the federal, yeah, but not in the state, yeah. I don't know.
No, yes, you do pay.
How they-
I have deductions.
Oh,
there is I think there's when you go to file your taxes, there is a lot of the word, a certain dollar amount that you don't have to pay on, but then anything above that. you have to pay.
And then employees that are not eligible for this program are required to pay into the OBRA. I forget what it stands for, but because again, we don't do 401k. You either are in the pension program or you're paying into OBRA, which is another federal rate. Is it federal or is it state? I forget if it's Massachusetts or if it's federal, but it goes into another account, so
Another pension system, basically.
it's an interest bearing.
Rather than social security.
Yeah,
So who's entitled to go into this program?
everybody over 12 hours. Is it 12 hours?
20 hours.
Oh, it's 20? Oh, okay.
Okay.
20 hours.
Anyone over 20 hours goes into this retirement. If you're under 20 hours, then you go into the OPRA.
The OBRA.
Okay, and do they have to do that, or do
They
they have
to
an
do
option?
that.
Oh.
No,
And this is just the town share of this, so the employee also puts money into
Right.
the retirement.
Right.
9 plus 2.
What?
Or if you're old like
11%.
me, if you're old.
Oh.
like
Yeah, there's some,
Is there a
Mine
catch
was
up?
yeah,
Mine was 8% because I was hired, so
currently it's 11.
now it's,
11% the
Yeah.
employee puts,
yeah. Well, if you make over 30,000, if you don't make over 30,000, then it's
The
9%.
9, yeah,
uh,
that's why we have a 9 and a 2.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, there's the 9% more if you're over that threshold, you have to do an additional 2.
Okay, and the next budget is injured on reserve, the IV8.
This is our insurance coverage for fire, police. Is highway in that group?
No, I don't
It's just
think so.
fire, police, right?
Yeah.
And this is based on employee count. It's called Chubb, it's through Chubb, but it's handled by Maya. So this is a dollar amount that we receive based on our employee count. We didn't increase any of our employee count within police or fire or change their hours, so it's staying static.
So this is actually workers' comp for the police department, basically.
I have a note that supposed to review it with Chubb. Not sure where that's from.
I think last time we talked that we might not have had the dollar figures.
Oh, me too, yeah.
But that's the correct, the 13,104.
And then the next one is IV11. It's a retirement
Big
payment.
reduction here.
Yeah,
This account is set up simply to do retirement payout for any retiree that's going to retire in the coming fiscal year. Such as their vacation payout or any of their benefits, their earned time benefits. We do not have anybody retiring in the coming fiscal year that we need to budget for.
okay, so now we're going to tab 9, PS7.
We should filter these by tab number 8. I did it by alpha order and really sorry. Just keeping you
Well, I had-
back and forth.
I wrote down the tab.
That was a good call.
Wait a minute. Okay.
You have a question on this one?
No, where we were.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
When we met 2 meetings ago regarding the number of subscribers that were in the family plan versus a
The
single.
group health insurance
Yeah,
questions, yes.
that we needed to update, try to get a count on the status of 4 people that are retiring out, except from the school system.
And we do have that.
Yeah.
We running get it.
Oh, it's all right. you can just-
I have it written down on my desk.
This was to lead to the question of, do we need to add in an extra
Right.
HMO or family or something?
So. Of those retiring. One. Doesn't have any insurance. Didn't have insurance with us. One is gonna keep their insurance, but it's gonna be changing to 50% coverage, because we cover 50% of their costs when they retire. One of them had insurance, but has since dropped it, so they were in the calculation, we had them counted in the calculation, but they actually now are dropping the insurance.
So they
And
were inside that $635,000.
and then the others also, sorry, the others did not have insurance. So really,
So you have
We-
some potential exposure. Depending on the new
the new
hires
Right.
coming in.
Right.
we at least know that
Yep.
those retiring, only one is gonna be keeping their insurance.
Right.
And that's at a lower rate for us, because we're only covering 50% as opposed to 75%.
Yep.
So there is that benefit, but yes. As we mentioned before, with the replacement employees and then plans that you don't know. Yeah. So it comes down to whether we feel, or if you guys feel that there's a need to. Add in, because we did budget in at least one extra family and one extra retiree.
Are those all, should ask this question before, do you know the dates that they're retiring?
No, I do not, and I don't know off the top of my head, Jen has that information, but I don't have
Okay,
that.
because, that may make a difference too, because if they retire in December rather than in June.
Yes,
Then we'd only be paying half a year of insurance or whatever for the new person or.
I know she does have it, but yeah, I
Okay.
do not recall.
So that's another thing we can check on as we move through, but,
So they're all from the school, right?
Yes, yep,
So possible they would retire into this.
That's what you imagine.
but sometimes they don't, if they have
Yeah.
a birthday or something and they wanna retire closer, whether they
Right.
might get a little additional retirement if they waited until a certain date. They may retire mid-year. We've had them retire mid-year before.
Okay.
So we just, that might be something
Yeah,
to
it's not
consider
fair.
too, as
Yeah.
we're figuring out whether we need to up this budget anymore.
So you're suggesting we just reevaluate?
I think,
Down the
yeah,
road.
yeah,
Okay.
that would be my, I don't know how everyone else feels, but.
I think we would see how it all shakes out and then always go back and add.
Okay, so we are now on PS7, which is the Franklin County Cooperative Inspection Service.
so we have our building services covered through the county, through their CIP department or program. And the assessment for the coming fiscal year is the same as the current fiscal year at $7,300, no change. Those services include building inspection, wiring, plumbing inspections, as well as zoning enforcement.
Okay,
So there's income that comes in from that, right?
The permit fees go into the CIP program itself.
Okay.
okay, any other questions on this? Okay, let's move on to tab 12. And U1. Which is our favorite. Reserve fund.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so this is up to the discretion of the finance committee, essentially. Because you also administer it, but historically, we fund the reserve fund with $20,000. This is essentially the rainy day fund, should any unanticipated expense come up in the fiscal year, a department can request those funds.
And so the expenditures 23 through 25 are the departments coming forward. So
Yep,
what's the approximate balance of the reserve now?
currently, Have we done any reserve?
I think we did one, we did, no, maybe not.
We did an interdepartmental transfer, I remember if we did a,
Reserve fund in the middle of February still had the 20,000.
okay. Yeah, I don't believe we've done.
It's at 20K.
Oh, no, we did approve one reserve fund
Oh.
transfer.
So,
Oh, that was the $30,000. We adjusted in November, we increased the reserve fund budget by 30,000 and then immediately spent it for highway in order to pay for the plow rental and the sander.
That's
So
right.
it just leveled it back out.
yeah.
Okay.
Got it. You're back to where.
But you did approve a use of fund, but it was only because we also transferred more money, so it's still at 20.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And that 20 just sits there at the end of the fiscal year, we haven't touched it.
It just rolls into free cash.
But then this fund would get repopulated.
If you approve, if the town meeting approves the appropriation of 20,000 for the next fiscal year. Yeah.
Okay, and any other questions on reserve fund? Okay, let's move on to you two.
This is the Franklin Regional Council of Governments. We pay our portion, an assessment fee, for that, and then we also take part in the cooperative purchasing assessment or program. And so there is an assessment for that. So the FERCog provides us services as the RPA for the region, but also just as a participant in the COG. And the cooperative purchasing assessment, we use the FERCog to do highway procurements every year. That's providing to purchase all of the supplies for the highway department, asphalt and a lot of materials.
What does assessment mean? What do you mean assessment? What is that?
Assessment, just like all the other assessments I mentioned, we pay a portion of our taking part in that program. So it's just like I mentioned, we pay an assessment to the Tri-Town Beach because we're part of another community that takes part in it. Right, retirement, where it's an assessment because we're one of many towns paying into it. So there are 26 communities in the COG, right? So it's split amongst all of us, and this is Whately's portion.
And an RPA is a regional
Planning agency, right? Regional planning agency.
Okay, any other questions on the FERCog?
Essentially a very minor reduction, but still good to see. Yep.
We'll take from them.
You three. Physicals and tests.
We do pre-employment physicals and ongoing tests of our police, fire and highway departments. Due to the physical nature of their roles and because they are utilizing vehicles, town vehicles. And a lot of the physicals are done pre-employment. Ongoing tests are done routinely just to verify that they're okay. So you can see in 24, we did do a bunch of hiring in the highway department, and there were a couple of officers, I believe, part-time officers. Which is why we expended quite a bit, but we didn't in 25 because we just didn't replace many employees. We don't anticipate significant replacement in the coming fiscal year, but you never know. So just keeping that level funded is the request. And unfortunately, these physical costs are going up. That 609 was one physical.
Yeah.
Let's see, okay, any other questions on physicals and tests? Okay, let's move on to you four. Town vehicle fuel.
So we have gasoline and diesel fuel that delivered to the highway department, and then those vehicles that our town departments fuel off of that tank. This just represents the expended, just represents the amount of cost of fuel and delivery that happened over those previous years. So the request here is to keep it at level funding We know that gasoline, that fuel costs are going up, but whether or not we utilize them,
Other than the current situation, they've been coming down, but not.
They're not gonna come down now.
don't think about
Stock up on oil, right?
But yeah, essentially just keeping this at a level fund, the current fiscal year of 40,000, because you can see in 24, we did spend nearly 40,000. We just didn't have the
Right.
mileage demand in 25.
Yeah.
There was
And
a,
that likely was because we didn't have as much.
pretty strenuous
To say
winter.
this year is gonna be
Right, this one's gonna be tough
yeah.
this year.
The vehicles have been out like crazy.
Yep.
Any discussion of electric or hybrid vehicles? Replacing. some
We
of the
are,
others?
so, the police department, the cruisers have been, or are or in the middle of being replaced with hybrid vehicles. Unfortunately, the heavy duty vehicle.
Yeah.
The market's still not solid with the development of the technology, so we are still fuel based.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions on fuel? Okay, let's move on to U5.
This is the educational incentives budget. There are typically two incentives that happen, town clerk incentive and a treasurer incentive. Our town clerk and treasurer previously did not have the certifications that warranted the incentive, so we hadn't been funding it. However, the current treasurer collector does have the mass certification, so they are eligible for the $1,000. We did an interdepartmental transfer in order to fund her in the current fiscal year with that 1,000, and so I want to make sure that we budget for it next year. The town clerk.
Sorry, is it 1,000 every year? If they have it?
Yep. And it's under Mass General Law. I note here that we should anticipate funding the town clerk incentive beginning in FY 28 because the current town clerk is going through their certification process. It required sitting in the role for 3 years before you can go and get the certification, which is why she hasn't been eligible and could not get it until this coming year to then fund her or get the 28 cycle.
Yes.
Same $1,000?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah, so this is an increase, but yeah, it's just due to the fact that we do have employees that are certified.
okay, and we've already talked about the moderator's budget. So that takes care of all the budgets that we needed to go over tonight.
Pretty smooth, Pete.
And then now we have the capital improvement planning committee.
It's still the same recommendation from last time. This is just here in order to continue discussion. If there is any further discussion, I also kept it in case we needed to amend it, but there is no need to amend or change the recommendation.
Our last meeting, we talked about, giving a summary.
I know.
Okay. I won't go any.
Win. The room. No, I will.
We'll
Call him out.
we'll call down the discussion on capital items.
I plan on having that outline.
I do have a capital question. Did we repaint the town hall?
Not yet. We have it budgeted in the
It's-
current
It's,
capital,
it is inside this year's cap.
correct,
Got it.
town meeting, and based on your recommendation.
Right.
There was to do the installation of the storm windows and the review at the same time, so I
Right.
could use the scaffolding. In tandem,
Springtime project.
that's when Garrett, I believe, is planning to do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the windows we do have here on site, waiting for that.
Any other questions? Let's see, any other business that we needed to discuss? I do have one thing. I know that, on our calendar, the meeting that the finance committee is supposed to determine the budget. I think that's the first meeting in May. I won't be here. Is there a chance of, scheduling that at a different time?
Well, let's discuss, yeah, let's discuss, I mean, right now. We have going through department budgets and discussion between the board all the way through April 15th. After April 15th is when the finance committee make your votes on any capital requests, any financial warrant articles, and because we need you to vote on all of these things. So it was planned for May, was it? The first Wednesday in May.
I think, yeah, May,
But we could change it to a May 6th.
no, I won't be here for
So when,
I'm gonna be leaving April 28th and won't be back until the 9th.
May
The
9th. So we could do with May 11th, moving it from the 6th to the 11th work, a Monday.
Does that give you enough time to do? Oh, I'm sorry, May, I'm sorry, I'm
Be the
the wrong
day after
month.
we come back.
May, yeah, that would work. Does that give you enough time for finalize your warrant and,
Well, I'm finalizing the warrant with the select board on the 13th.
oh,
So, yeah,
well, is everyone else available on a Monday? On May 11th?
It's,
Who knows?
yes,
Probably.
Say yes.
Yeah. That would be wonderful if we could move that meeting to,
and I'm sorry, what's the title of the meeting?
it would be finance committee, it would be our votes on what we recommend for a
So
budget.
instead of the 6th,
correct, yeah,
Yeah.
it's moving the May 6th meeting to May 11th.
Yeah. That works for everybody,
at what time? Sorry.
5:00.
5 o'clock?
So,
It's just something.
Okay.
Just want to make sure you know that you don't have to, you can come.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, yes,
5 o'clock.
yep.
I would try to Zoom, but I'm gonna be in the middle of the ocean and I don't care. And I don't wanna Zoom. Okay.
But just as a reminder, the next joint meeting of the two boards is on the 18th. And then on March 18th, and then on March 30th is the Tri-Town meeting that's happening for the select boards and finance committee finance committees of Sunderland, Whately, Deerfield. So that you can hear the budget presentations for the senior center and for STEMS, the emergency management or emergency medical services.
Where's the town?
So we had a preview of,
Oh, where is that the town hall?
In South Deerfield, yeah,
Yeah.
The town.
yeah, it's not a town, it's town offices, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't know that they even have the town hall anymore.
I think it's just, I think that's the building.
Yes.
Yeah,
Offices.
they're old elementary school. Sorry,
okay, so we had a preview of the senior center budget last time.
it's gonna be the same.
This will be a more comprehensive.
The intention
Between the
was
three.
to alleviate the senior center and SCEMS from having to do each town. Jen did still want to meet in person to go through hers just with Whately, but yeah, this is so that all three towns can ask questions jointly of those two budgets.
It was helpful to have her input.
so yeah, so this discussion, this is not a done deal, right? For this new building, or is it
Nothing's
essentially a
been
done
voted.
deal? Nothing's been voted.
Right.
It's not done until all three towns.
Yeah.
approve
All
All three
so
town
one town
meetings.
could veto it.
Effectively.
Essentially, yes.
And then it's. If one town votes against it, then the.
That program's not happening, yeah.
Then they're looking for another plan, let's look from scratch.
Yeah,
That's what
Back to
happened.
doing what they're doing now.
Yeah, the
They're
status
doing-
quo, yeah. Using the current facility,
That's why Jen gave us the two different budgets.
right?
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah.
the recommendation right now is doing our budget based on that it happens, so that way, if we appropriate for that. If it were to fail in one of the towns, at least we have the appropriation, we don't have to go back to town meeting and ask for more money, we just won't don't spend it. We could always go back and reduce the budget. We don't have to, because we're not gonna pay out money that they're not gonna, if they don't invoice us.
Right, but Deerfield's having their town meeting, I think, in April.
I think
So
Deerfield's
we'll
under
know.
both late April,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we will
so
know
we know.
before we finalize our budget.
Correct. That's my point.
Yeah, I think one other thing that they're planning to do is to actually give people more data. We did in January a presentation to just the Deerfield Finance Committee where we went comprehensively through the data of usage with charts and graphs and really built up the case for why we need the new space and all the services that we're giving the seniors and why the space we have is, I mean, the data that basically makes the case would be presented as well. And I think that's something that not everybody on this committee has seen.
No, I would love to see that.
Okay. Are we all set?
Can I just ask one question? I know this came up when Jennifer was here, but it's my understanding that they have classes now in all through town. And the only place where they pay is Sunderland, is that right? For if they have a program?
I didn't, the first part of your sentence was garbled. What you say it again, please?
Does Whately charge to use the town hall for senior programs? No. Does Deerfield charge for any senior programs?
Well, they don't do any senior programs in the Deerfield Town Hall. There's no space that they have available for them.
Don't they have
The
a
places
space
outside of the place we rent for our offices, I
Yeah.
believe there are 3 places where we have programs happening. One is at the Congregational Church in Sunderland, and they charge a menial charge to use their space, and we do it probably twice a month there. It's much less than $100, and it is a little tiny church that you know, it's not a place where we feel like we can tell them, no, you can't charge us or anything like that. The other place is the Polish American Club, who out of the goodness of their hearts does not charge us to use their facility when we need to do a big congregate meal. And then the Whately Town Hall is by policy free of charge to groups that are members of the community. So because
about-
people from Whately have been paying their taxes all these years and that went into the town hall, then that's how we're getting free use of the town hall.
What about Sunderland?
What do you mean, what about Sunderland? There's,
Do they charge their programs that are held in Sunderland? Does the senior center have to pay?
we don't have any in Sunderland municipal buildings.
I
It's the
thought she
Congregational
said.
Church.
The Congregational Church is not a part of the town of Sunderland. It's the little tiny church that,
Oh, that's the one where it's a medium field. But I thought she said when she was here that there was a $75 charge for some
Yes.
places.
that was for the Sunderland Congregational Church.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got a big back room and a kitchen, and it's the perfect place for the kind of meal distribution that they try to do and food distribution.
Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't possibly do it at the little place we're renting right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Sure,
any other
sure.
questions? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
All those in favor on the finance committee?
Alright.
Okay, finance is adjourned.
I move that we adjourn the select board meeting.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Julie,
Yes?
Fred,
Yeah.
Joyce? Yes. Hey, good night, everybody.
Night.
All right.